Hello friends, imagine this. You wake up one morning. The alarm goes off same as always. You drag yourself to work. You sit through meetings. You scroll through emails. You smile at coworkers. And then, at the end of the day, you drive home, exhausted. And somewhere on that drive, a question quietly appears in your mind. Is this it? Is this what I traded my life for? If that question has ever crossed your mind even once, then this book was written for you. Your Money or Your Life, by Vicki and Joe Dominguez, is not just a personal finance book. It is a philosophical revolution. It does not just ask how you manage your money, it asks why you work, what your time is actually worth, and whether the life you're living is the life you actually want. Let's dive deep together. Part 1. The problem: money owns you. Let's start with the most uncomfortable truth this book throws at you. Most people are not living their lives. They're spending their lives. Think about your average day. You wake up early, commute, work for 8, 9, 10 hours, come home tired, eat something, watch something, scroll something, sleep, and repeat. Now here's the question Vicki asks. How much of that is actually your choice? Most of us would say, well, I have to work, I have bills, I have responsibilities. And that's true. But the book pushes deeper. How many of those bills are for things that actually bring you joy? How many of those expenses are just habits, status signals, things you bought to feel better about a life you don't fully love? The authors introduce a term, the rat race. You work more to earn more. You earn more to spend more. You spend more. So now you need to work more. Around and around it goes. And nobody wins a rat race. They just get more tired. But here's what's really interesting. This isn't a failure of willpower or discipline. It's a failure of awareness. Most people have never once sat down and calculated, how much money have I earned in my entire life? And what exactly do I have to show for it? That exercise alone, when people actually do it, is a wake-up call. Decades of income and very little financial freedom to show for it. Not because they were bad people, but because nobody ever taught them to see money differently. And that's what this book does. It changes your lens. Money, the authors say, is not just currency. Money is life energy. Let that land for a second. Every dollar you spend, you paid for it with your time, with the hours of your one life, with energy that can never be returned. So the real question, the question that changes everything is, was that worth it? Part 2. The concept that changes everything. Life energy. Okay, so what is life energy exactly? The book defines it simply. Life energy is your time on Earth. It's finite. You can't earn more of it. And every single hour you trade for money is an hour you'll never get back. Now, here's a powerful exercise from the book. I want you to actually try this. Step 1. Calculate your real hourly wage. Not just your salary divided by 40 hours. Your real hourly wage, which accounts for everything your job actually costs you. Think about it. If you work from 9 to 5, you're not really trading 8 hours. You're trading time to commute there and back. Time to decompress after a stressful day. Money spent on work clothes, lunches, coffees, parking. Energy lost to a job that drains you, which means you spend money on weekend recovery. Add all that up. Subtract all those job-related costs from your paycheck. Then divide by all the hours you actually gave to that job. For most people, that number is significantly lower than they thought. Sometimes less than half of their assumed hourly rate. And now here's where it gets profound. Take that number and apply it to your spending. That new couch you bought, don't think of it as $800. Think, how many hours of your life did that cost? Maybe 20 hours, maybe 30. Was it worth 30 hours of your life? That daily $6 coffee sounds small, but over a year, that's hundreds of dollars, which might be 10, 15, 20 hours of your life every single year. This isn't about guilt. The book is not saying don't enjoy things. It's about consciousness. It's about choosing what your life energy is worth, rather than letting it drain away unconsciously. When you start seeing every purchase as a trade of your limited life energy, something shifts deeply, permanently. You stop buying on autopilot. You start asking, is this thing, this experience, this object worth the hours of my life I'll never get back? Sometimes the answer is yes, absolutely. Buy it with joy, with full presence, with no guilt. But sometimes, often the answer is no. And that no is liberating. Part 3, the wall chart. Watching your freedom grow. Now the book gets practical. And it gives you one of the most powerful tools I've ever come across in any personal finance book, the wall chart. Here's how it works. Every month, you track 2 numbers on a chart. Number 1, your total monthly income, all the money coming in. Number 2, your total monthly expenses, all the money going out. And you put this chart somewhere you can see it. On your wall. In your face. Now, there's a third line you add over time. It's called the crossover point. Let me explain. As you save more and spend less, you start accumulating savings. You invest those savings into income-producing assets. The book recommends things like government bonds. Though the principle works with any reliable investment, month by month, that investment income grows. And month by month, your expenses, now that you're conscious of your life energy, tend to decrease. One day, and this is the magical moment these 2 lines cross, your investment income now exceeds your monthly expenses. That's the crossover point. That's financial independence. Not because you won the lottery, not because you got a raise, but because you chose deliberately, consistently, to reclaim your life energy and redirect it. The wall chart turns this journey into something visible, something real. Every month, you're not just paying bills, you're watching freedom grow, line by line, month by month. And there's a psychological magic to seeing your progress. It becomes motivating in a way that abstract savings goals never are. Part 4, the 9 steps. Overview of the full program. The book lays out a complete 9-step program. Let me walk you through all of them because together they paint a complete picture of transformation. Step 1. Making peace with the past. Calculate your lifetime earnings. Everything. Every job, every side hustle, every odd payment. Then calculate your current net worth. The gap between what you earned and what you have. That's the first wake-up call. Most people are genuinely surprised. And that surprise is the beginning of change. Step 2. Being in the present, tracking every dollar. This step is about complete honesty. You track every single dollar that comes in and goes out. Not to judge yourself, not to restrict yourself, just to SEE, because you cannot change what you cannot see. And most people are genuinely unaware of where their money actually goes. Step 3. Monthly tabulation. Now you organize your spending into categories. Groceries, rent, entertainment, coffee, subscriptions, whatever fits your life. And for each category, you calculate, how many hours of life energy did I spend here? Step 4. 3 questions that change your relationship with money. For each spending category, ask 3 questions. Question 1. Did this bring me fulfillment, satisfaction, value in proportion to what I paid in life energy? Question 2. Is this expense in alignment with my values and life purpose? Question 3. How would I feel about this expense if I didn't have to work for money? These 3 questions are deceptively powerful. They reveal which spending makes you feel alive and which spending is just numbing the fact that you're not. Step 5. Making life energy visible, the wall chart. This is the chart we just discussed. Post it. Look at it daily. Let it motivate you. Step 6. Valuing your life energy, minimizing spending. Now, naturally, as your awareness grows, your spending tends to decrease not through deprivation, but through conscious choice. You start finding that many expenses were just filling voids that a better life wouldn't have. Step 7. Valuing your life energy, maximizing income. On the flip side, you also look for ways to increase income Not by working harder at a job you hate, but by discovering work that aligns with your values. Many people, through this process, discover creative ways to earn that they'd never considered before. Step 8. Capital and the crossover point. Now you focus on accumulating capital, your savings, your investments, your financial cushion. You watch the investment income line rise. You calculate, how far am I from the crossover point? Step 9. Managing your finances. The final step is about sustaining the life you've built. Investing wisely, living intentionally, continuing to grow not because you have to, but because you want to. Part 5. The deeper philosophy. What is enough? Now, I want to spend some time on the philosophy underneath all of this, because your money or your life is ultimately not about budgeting. It's about a question that civilization rarely asks. What is enough? We live in a culture that is built on more. More income, more success, more possessions, more experiences, more followers, more. And we've been sold the idea that more equals better, that there's never enough. That satisfaction is always just one upgrade away. But the book introduces a concept called the fulfillment curve. Picture a graph. On one axis, money and possessions. On the other, fulfillment and happiness. At first, as you go from nothing to a little, fulfillment rises sharply. Food, shelter, safety, warmth. These things genuinely make you happier. Of course they do. Then you move into comforts. A nice bed, good clothes, reliable transportation. Fulfillment keeps rising. Then luxuries, a bigger home, designer items, better vacations. The curve is still rising, but more slowly now. And then you hit the peak, the point of enough. At this point, more spending doesn't increase fulfillment. It starts to decrease it, because now you're spending your life energy, your precious, irreplaceable life energy, on things that don't actually make you feel more alive. You're on the clutter side of the curve, and most people in consumer culture live there without ever knowing it. Enough is not a number. It's a feeling. It's the moment when you have what you need, what truly brings you joy, and you recognize, this is sufficient. This is full. I don't need more. This is radical in a world that profits from you never feeling enough. But it's also deeply liberating, because once you know you're enough, you have a destination, a real one, and that changes everything. Part 6. Real stories, real transformation. Let me share the kind of transformations that this book has sparked, because theory without reality is just philosophy. The book and the movement it created have inspired thousands of people to achieve financial independence, not by earning 6 figures, not by inheriting wealth, but by changing their relationship with money and time. There are teachers, nurses, middle managers, ordinary people with ordinary incomes who used these principles to retire in their 30s or 40s. Not to stop living, but to start living fully. There are couples who did this program together and discovered, for the first time, that they actually agreed on what a good life looked like. The financial conversations stopped being arguments and started being adventures. There are people who paid off decades of debt, not because they got lucky, but because they finally saw the true cost of that debt in life energy, and that was enough to change everything. One of the most common realizations people report from this book: I didn't need as much as I thought I did, and the things I thought I wanted, I didn't actually want them. I just wanted to feel okay. And there are cheaper, richer ways to feel okay. Part 7. Financial independence is not retirement. Here's something important to address, because I know some of you might be thinking, this is great, but I'm not trying to retire early. Is this still for me? Yes, absolutely. Financial independence, as the book defines it, does not mean sitting on a beach doing nothing. It means having choices. It means your work is a choice, not a survival necessity. Most people who reach financial independence through this program don't stop working. They stop working at things they hate. They start working at things that matter to them. Some volunteer. Some start businesses that were always too risky when a mortgage depended on it. Some write. Some travel and teach. Some spend more time with aging parents or young children. The point is, freedom, not leisure. Freedom. And even if you never reach full financial independence, this process still transforms your life. You become more conscious, more intentional, more aligned with what actually matters to you. And that alone is worth everything. Part 8. Criticisms and Honest Limitations. Now, let me be honest with you, no book is perfect. And this one has its critics. First, the investment advice in the original book is dated. When it was written in the early 1990s, government bonds offered returns high enough to fund a life on. Today, interest rates are different. Most modern readers adapt the investment principles to index funds or diversified portfolios. The underlying math still works, but the specific vehicle needs updating. Second, this program assumes a level of financial stability that not everyone has. If you're in genuine survival mode, barely covering basics, no safety net, some of these steps feel abstract. The book works best when you have some breathing room, even if it's small. Third, the program requires consistent effort. Tracking every expense, doing the monthly tabulations, maintaining the chart, it's not hard. But it is sustained. People who do it halfway tend to get halfway results. But here's the thing. The philosophy of the book, the idea of life energy, the fulfillment curve, the concept of enough, those are universal. Those apply to anyone, anywhere, at any income level. Even if you never follow a single step of the program, just reading this book and letting its ideas settle into your mind will change the way you relate to money permanently. Key lessons, what to remember. Let's land this plane with the most important ideas to carry with you. Lesson 1. Money is life energy. Every dollar you spend costs you time from your one finite life. Spend it on what genuinely matters. Lesson 2. Calculate your real hourly wage. Include all job-related costs and hours. You're probably earning less per real hour than you think, and spending more life energy than you realize. Lesson 3. Consciousness is the tool. You don't have to become frugal or ascetic. You just have to become aware. Awareness changes behavior naturally, without force. Lesson 4. Know you're enough. There is a level of spending where you are genuinely fulfilled. Beyond that, more spending costs you life energy without returning joy. Find that level. Honor it. Lesson 5. Financial independence is a mindset, not just a number. It's about freedom to choose how you spend your time, which is, ultimately, how you spend your life. Lesson 6. The wall chart works. What you measure and make visible, you improve. Track your income and expenses. Watch the gap. Watch freedom grow. Lesson 7. The crossover point is real. When your investment income exceeds your expenses, you are free. This is achievable not just for the wealthy, but for anyone who understands the math and changes their relationship with money. We started this summary with a question. Is this it? Is this what I traded my life for? Your Money or Your Life is a book that dares to say, no, it doesn't have to be. It dares to say that the relationship between money and meaning can be reimagined. That time, your time, is the real currency of a human life. That enough is a destination worth finding. And that financial freedom is not about greed or luxury, it's about sovereignty over your own days. You don't have to spend your entire life working to afford a life that doesn't feel like yours. There is another way. And this book shows it to you, step by step, thought by thought, dollar by dollar. So what's one thing from this summary that you want to take with you? What one question will you sit with today? Because a book doesn't change your life, but a question, the right question, asked at the right moment, absolutely can. This has been the summary of Your Money or Your Life by Vicki Robin and Joe Dominate. Until next time, spend your life energy wisely. Thank you.